watching Northern Student TV. I'm Josie Terry. Well, going on site with Sydney and Emily, we join them as they give us a look into how to survive the dorms here at BSU.
I'm Emily Dukek.
I'm Sydney South, and this is On Location.
Today we have 10 tips on how to survive the freshman dorm.
Tip number 1, don't be afraid to make friends.
Tip number 2, go to all the free activities that you can.
Tip number 3, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Tip number 4, use the tunnels.
And tip number 5, do your laundry.
Tip number 6, air fresheners are your friends.
Tip number 7, wear shower shoes.
Tip number 8, bring your own printer.
Tip number 9, use the French fry seasoning at Wally's.
And tip number 10, brought to you by Carl Sewell, make sure your papers are stapled.
This was 10 tips on how to survive your freshman year. I'm Sydney South.
And I'm Emily Dukek.
This was On Location. Back to you, Josie.
Thanks, girls. Next, we listen in as CJ interviews a member of the women's soccer team and what her new record holder status and what it took.
For NSTV Sports, I'm CJ Baumgartner, and we're here in what used to be the Glass building, and it's now kind of turned into this turf building here. We have Rachel Norton here with us. How's it going today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. So, you guys have you've had a lot of success so far this season. You broke the 100-point mark a few weeks ago. You broke BSU's all-time point mark in North Dakota a couple weeks ago. Tell us, what does it mean to be in the BSU record books like that?
It means a lot, actually, and I was very surprised when it happened, so I'm super blessed. I mean, it's super cool that one day I'll come back here and hopefully my name will be somewhere in the records here and I can be like, yeah, this is where I once played soccer back in the old days, yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and what about your game do you feel makes you such a great player?
Teammates, honestly, I could not do it without them. I mean, without my forwards up top helping me, without the midfields coming back, there would be no 100 points. I mean, straight up, it's everything from their assists to just cheering me on the sidelines. Like, they are amazing.
That double overtime game against Mankato, tell us about that game.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. I am really glad we pulled that out because they weren't the best sportsmanship team, and so it just felt really good to just show them what we're made of, you know, just show them that it wasn't going to be easy for them and that we really deserved that.
What is the mindset going into this weekend?
The mindset is just to keep winning. You know, we want to win the conference really badly, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get there. And so Augie, they're going to be a really tough game. We have a lot of history with them, so it's going to be a lot harder than the other games. And yeah, we're looking forward to it though, because we really want to hand it to them.
What does it mean to go from that unranked to start the year to being one of the best teams in the country?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's hard to believe that in the country is even in our title there. I love that being Division II, we can still make a mark on the season and just kind of show people that even though we are D2, we do work really hard and we deserve this.
Any plans to pursue anything with soccer after BSU?
There was some thought about it last year, but as this year is going on, I think it would be amazing to just, if we win the conference, if we go to the tournament, I would be totally fine just ending at the top.
Thanks for giving us the time for the interview, and best of luck to you guys. I'm CJ Baumgartner with NSTV Sports, and we're going to kick it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, CJ, for that look into the women's soccer team. If you are looking to change up your fishing this fall, check out Fishing with Eric and find out the top 3 lures Dominic Floria suggests.
Hey guys, I'm Dominic Floria. I'm on the Bemidji State fishing team, and I would like to talk about my top 3 baits for fishing in the fall. Probably the top one would be a frog. I like throwing these around pads, rice, and bulrushes, and if you can find a mix of all 3, that's generally the best. It's a top water bait, so you can throw it right in the thick stuff and it's not going to get snagged. And one tip would be, wait till you actually feel the fish pulling before you set the hook. A lot of people like to set the hook right when you see the blow up, but just hold on, wait a few seconds till you actually feel it, and then set the hook as hard as you can. Second way I like to catch them is a jig. This is an Outcast jig, a 1/2 ounce, and I like to just throw a green pumpkin jig most of the time. Unless it's darker water, then you'd want to throw black and blue. I like to throw these around reeds and points in the reeds or a thick clump and let it sink to the bottom, give it a couple twitches, and that's how you're going to get most of your bites, is either on the fall or that first twitch. So then after that, just basically reel it back in and make another pitch. The third bait that I like to use would be a chatterbait. This is a moving bait. Basically just throw it out and reel it back in. This blade kind of kicks back and forth and creates like a wobbling action. I like to throw these around either spread out pencil reeds or deeper coontail and cabbage, and basically just reel it over the deeper weeds, trying to get into it a little bit. And if you feel any kind of like the blade stop moving or any type of pressure, just kind of rip it out, and you'll either rip it out of the weeds, which can cause a reaction bite, or you'll set the hook into a fish. Sometimes the bite just feels like a kind of a mushy feeling. You won't actually feel a thump. So that's my 3 favorite ways to catch them in the fall. Hope you learned something. Give these 3 baits a try. Catch more bass.
Certainly hope those lures work for you fishers this fall. Before heading to the polls, it is always a good idea to know who is on the ballot. Covering a bit of politics with Jacob, he sits down with the Republican Party candidate, Matt Grossell. Let's check in with him now.
Well, you know, a couple of one of the other committees that I sit on is public safety, and I have been working on several bills that have to do with safety of young people. I've been working on child pornography to increase the penalties on that. Too many people are getting very, very, well, they call it they call it a presumed stay on these cases, and these people are victimizing children. They're not just looking at these awful pictures of children being used in horrible acts, but they're also victimizing these children. And they're getting stays of just a few months in jail for destroying a child's life. So I've been working on that legislature, and I'm going to continue to work on that. I've been working on the criminal sexual conduct statute as well to try to keep better track of predatory offenders. They keep resurfacing and keep committing worse crimes. So those are some things that, you know, that's what I'm working on. Those are some things that I can use some help as far as students, you know, help support these things to make sure that we get that students' voices are heard and that these statutes represent the victims and help the victims and not coddle the offenders.
All right. Thank you very much for coming on. All right. This was Matt Grossell. He is the Republican nominee for Minnesota State House District 2A. I'm Jacob Israel with Northern Student Television. Thank you very much.
Remember to head to the polls on November 6th to vote for the candidates best fit for the open offices. That's all we have for you today, so folks, we will see you next Friday. I'm Josie Terry, and you've been watching Northern Student TV.